Influential DACA dreamer visits OSU.
Armed robbery off campus.
And the latest updates in Buckeye football. That's all right here on Lantern News Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Suarez.
And I'm Jamela Muhammad. You're watching Lantern News Now.
As the legislative landscape around DACA continues to change, dreamers such as Cesar Vargas remain uncertain of their future. Vargas, a prominent DACA advocate and one of the first undocumented lawyers sworn in the state of New York, visited Ohio State on Monday to share his story and give updates on what's happening in Congress. He sat down with me for a Lantern TV exclusive interview.
Well, right now, the short answer of where we are on immigration is that we don't know. That's a reality. There is countless proposals out there being introduced by both Republicans and Democrats, as well as bipartisan proposals that shows that we have a momentum for Congress to do something. We have a proposal like the Bridge Act that would just provide just renewable work permits to dreamers, or we have the DREAM Act where we have a path to citizenship for dreamers as well. And of course, there's plenty of proposals. Just this week, we had Republican Senator John McCain and Senator Coons from Connecticut who introduced a proposal to provide pathway to citizenship, as well as some funding for border security. We don't know where that's going to go, but there's also conversations of simply Congress is not going to get a solution by February 8th, which is where the government needs to be refunded. So what they're probably thinking is they're going to extend DACA for one more year and allow people to qualify and allow people to reapply again. But the short answer is that there is a course of proposals out there. There is political discussions out there between Republicans and Democrats. But also we have a president who is listening to some of the staunchest immigration hardliners like Stephen Miller and Senator Jeff Sessions, who have really made a whole career of targeting not just undocumented immigrants, but also legal immigrants. And they're trying to cut the ability of U.S. citizens to bring in their loved ones, like their parents, like my client who is whose two children are in the Marines and in the Army. And what this administration is trying to do is prevent these service members from petitioning their mom to be a U.S. citizen and to have a reunited family. So I think that's exactly where we are at, where we have both sides playing political games with the lives of dreamers at the expense of what this nation can be.
You can find the full interview with Vargas in our extended interviews playlist.
On Sunday, OSU Emergency Management issued a neighborhood safety notice after an armed robbery occurred at a residence on Chittenden Avenue on Friday. According to police, 3 suspects forced themselves into a home at gunpoint and stole items from students inside at the time. The suspects fled the scene and there were no reported injuries. If you have any information on this crime, please call Columbus Police.
Are you ready to recycle? The 2018 RecycleMania competition kicked off on Sunday. Over the next 8 weeks, Ohio students and faculty will compete against over 300 other universities in the U.S. and Canada to see who can recycle and reduce the most waste. Last year, Ohio State finished 8th.
Pete Sousa, known for his many iconic photos as the official Obama White House photographer, visited Ohio State on Monday for an event hosted by OUAB. Before the event, Sousa sat down with us to discuss working in the White House in his new book. Here's more.
So you knew Obama before, through, and after his presidency. Would you say, how did he change, if at all?
Well, I mean, his hair got grayer. But I've known him since 2005, and I know him today. I just saw him a couple months ago. The core character of him hasn't changed at all. I will say that I think since he left the presidency, I think that he's even more relaxed than he was before. Just when you're president of the United States, you kind of have the weight of the world on your shoulders. I mean, he handled it pretty well, but at the same time, being lifted of that, those kinds of demands on you, I think it certainly made him today be even more relaxed than he was before I knew him.
So I did actually, I've looked through your book before, and one of the photos that I guess like you're probably most well known for is the photo of the young boy Jacob, I believe is his name, touching President Obama's head. Can you tell us like more about that photo and kind of just the meaning, I guess, behind it?
Yeah, it's a picture of a young boy, 4 or 5, Jacob. He had asked the president, he was in the Oval Office with his family, and he asked the president about, his friends has told him that his haircut was just like the president's, and the president leaned over, little Jacob touches his head. And I think the picture resonates for a couple of reasons. One, you've got a 5-year-old African-American kid touching the head of the President of the United States who looks like him. But also it tells you something about Barack Obama, that at the behest of a 5-year-old, he would go ahead and bend over and let this kid touch his head. I'm not sure that every president would react the same way.
The full interview with Sousa can be found in our Extended Interviews playlist.
Now let's check in with the sports desk for the latest in Buckeye football.
Hello and welcome to a new edition of Lantern Sports Now. Let's take a look at what's been happening in Buckeye sports this week. Wednesday was a big day for the Ohio State football team. It was National Signing Day, and following commits from offensive tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere and linebacker Javonte Jean-Baptiste, the Buckeyes secured the #2 recruiting class in the nation behind Georgia.
We just signed 26 players at a very highly ranked class, a class that I think it follows suit the last 2 that we've brought in here as far as academic fit for Ohio State University, a culture fit, and a character fit, which I think I just want to credit our staff, and they did a phenomenal job.
More big news came as defensive coordinator Greg Schiano confirmed he will be returning to Ohio State for another season following rumors that he would become the new defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots.
But in general, I can say, after the season, there were opportunities both in college football and in the National Football League. But at the end of the day, my family, myself, we love it here. It's a tremendous people at the university, in town, and this has become home. So you make those decisions as a coach and just keep moving.
A contract extension is in the works for head coach Urban Meyer. Meyer has been Ohio State's head coach for the past 6 seasons, and his contract is set to expire in 3 years. At Wednesday's press conference, Ohio State Athletic Director Gene Smith said that the university is working on a 2-year extension that would extend Meyer's contract through the 2022-23 season.
But I know some of you have questions about contracts and things of that nature. So, yes, we're working on a contract extension for Urban. Made a recommendation to our president. He supported my ability to move forward and work on that. Hasn't been approved by the board. It'll go to the board in April. There will be a recommendation on his salary. There'll be a 2-year extension, which will make it 5 years total for his contract.
The Ohio State men's basketball team is now #1 in the Big Ten after beating #3 Purdue on the road Wednesday night, 64-63. Junior forward Keita Bates-Diop tipped in a missed shot by Jayshawn Tate with 2.8 seconds left on the clock to take the win. The Buckeyes are now 21-5 overall and 12-1 in Big Ten play. They take on Iowa Saturday night at 6 p.m. Now here's a look at some of the other upcoming games for the week. Thursday night, the women's basketball team takes on Rutgers, and the men's volleyball team takes on Ball State at 7 p.m. Friday, women's and men's gymnastics will compete against Penn State, and men's tennis will take on Texas A&M at 6 p.m. Saturday, men's lacrosse will play Boston University at noon. There will be men's and women's swim meets all day, and men's volleyball will take on Fort Wayne at 7 p.m. And now let's take a look at the weather for this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Current conditions right now, it's 25 degrees. Feels like 18 because of those 7-mile-per-hour winds, so you're going to want to bundle up. Now let's take a look back at Tuesday night and Wednesday morning's snowstorm. Now, Ohio State's airport reached 4.2 inches, so quite a bit of snow there. And with all that snow comes snowy roads. Now, it's going to take a while to get all those plow everything down, but Here is a priority one. This was taken Wednesday morning by myself, and they still hadn't gotten this done. Now, Columbus plows, they've got to hit 270, they've got to hit 315, all those other larger interstates before they hit these roads. Now, this is a priority one road. Here, we have the priority of the plows here. Here's the intersection between Lane and Neal, and it is a priority one, but again, they have to hit those freeways. And blue here is priority 2, so after they hit High Street, Lane Avenue, then they'll get down to 13th and all those down there. And then there's priority 3 here, like Iuka at the purple one. So if you guys can check this all out on warriorwatch.columbus.gov. And now, big question, what does it take for Ohio State to have a snow day? It takes a lot of different organizations in Ohio State, like facilities, operation development, traffic, transportation management, public safety, student life, and campus park all have to come together, work together to decide whether or not this is safe, the roads are safe, parking is safe. So it takes all that kind of stuff. Now, the last closure, we haven't closed, I think it's 12 closures within the last 40 years. Last closure was my senior year of high school, January 2014. Maybe one day soon we'll have a snow day in my college career. It takes more than just snow and wind chills to cancel class. It also ice and timing as well. And you know, if the wind is really heavy, can't see anything. Visibility is another thing that plays a large factor. So commuters, even if we are at a level 2 snow emergency, just be pretty careful, drive slow, be patient on the roads. But snow's over today. High of 25, low of 21, partly cloudy. We're sitting at about average. Actually, we're below average, average about 36. Take a look at Friday, 8 a.m. Mostly cloudy all of Friday, 8 a.m. We're starting in the 20s, making our way up to the 30s in noon and into 5 p.m., but pretty dreary, pretty cloudy. Take a look at the week ahead. Winter is here to stay. We've got rain turning into snow, however, but Sunday morning, that Saturday evening will turn into snow, more Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening actually, and it'll be a sunny Monday with warmer temps. And when I'm talking warmer, I'm not talking, 50s, I'm talking like 30, 40, so don't get too excited. It's just not going to be 20 or something. Friday, high of 38, low of 29, mostly cloudy as you saw in the past couple slides. Saturday, afternoon, evening, rain, high of 42. There are those warmer temperatures, guys. And Sunday, high of 35. We've got some afternoon, evening snow. Chance of precipitation, 50%. And check that out, low of 15. So winter is not going away anytime soon, no matter what groundhogs have to say with it. Back to you guys.
That's all we have for you this week on Lantern News Now.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Also check out The Lantern on Snapchat.
Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe.